Hello and welcome to demola, and today's video I'm gonna be talking about my experience in year 3 of medical school. So why is year 3 so important? In years 1 and 2, they're the preclinical years on my course in Manchester. So you're in lecture theatres, you're learning about different pathophysiologies of conditions and really getting your biomedical knowledge kind of sorted. And then when you go into year 3 and beyond, that's when you start to think, okay, you're in the hospital, you're doing clinical medicine. In the least corny way possible, I think it's really changed my perception on what does it mean to be a doctor? What is medicine? I kind of want to hopefully get that across in this video as well. Just in terms of if you're someone who's applied to do medicine and got in, or you're thinking about applying to medicine, you're like, okay, this is what it's really like when you're a medical student in a hospital. And if you're already in medical school and maybe your preclinical years, you're thinking, okay, well, this is what I can expect coming into clinical years. And also just about okay, what can I do to really maximize my experience throughout this course? Because it's only 5 years, which sounds long, but it is only 5 years. So hopefully I can get all of those points across today, but no time to waste. Let's get into the video. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna kind of touch on is imposter syndrome. I think a lot of medical students come in and they have imposter syndrome. It was the first week of learning, I was like, I need to change course. Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. And here I'm standing, completed 3 years, by the grace of God going to 4th. So honestly, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. And I think compared to preclinical to now, it's you get another bout of it. You come in, your scrubs are a bit baggy or whatever, and you're like, oh my goodness, everyone knows what they're doing except me. What the hell am I gonna do? I remember my first placement was on the endocrinology ward, right? And I was like, oh my goodness, okay, I need to learn acromegaly, I need to learn Addison's disease, diabetes, the whole lot. Yeah, I was stressed out about it. I was trying to get it down before I started. Not only did none of the patients have acromegaly or Addison's disease, right? But also, it wasn't expected of me to know it. And I think that's one thing that you need to realize. They know you're in 3rd year of medical school, yeah? All of the doctors, the junior doctors, the STs, the consultants, they've been where you've been, yeah? A lot of them will understand that it's hard. Make sure that you are asking questions. I think it does feel a bit nervous going to a doctor okay, I don't know what to do, please help me. But I think a lot of them will, first of all, like the fact that you've been proactive, and second of all, they will be willing to support you. They will point out a patient, this person's good to watch, or this person's good to do an examination or talk to, go to them. And I think that you start to realize, okay, there's a lot of support for me out there if I'm willing to accept it. Even on ward rounds, some doctors are very much, okay, I need to get my business done, I need to go through all these patients, yeah? They're more a bit locked in. And then there's other doctors that was a lovely cardiologist that I had, that he was giving inspirational quotes. He was making sure to consult after each patient, did you understand that, blah, blah, blah. This is why we have to make this decision, rata. And literally, that made me feel so happy. And I remember me and my partner, we both felt the same thing. It was such a nice experience to have. Another big tip that I'd have, especially with this imposter syndrome, is just to realize all the other students are going through exactly the same thing, yeah? We have tracks in Manchester, right? And mine was about 6 people. And we would meet on the Thursday for clinical debrief, which is a session where we're with a GP, we talk through our weeks and we go through a case that someone's seen to kind of improve our medical knowledge in building differentials and everything like that. I really loved the first aspect of it, which we were talking about a week, because you just realize everyone's going through the same or similar things. There's so many, obviously we're on different wards, right? But we're kind of going through the same things in terms of oh my goodness, I didn't know where to go. I got to do this, it was really exciting, stuff like that. The amount of tips that I've picked up from having a conversation with one of my friends that said, oh, this really worked for me in terms of helping me to get my sign-offs done or getting me to learn something really interesting. You should try it as well. And I did try it and it did work. So I think literally just be really open to leaning on your communities, I think is really the important thing. Whether that's the doctors, other students, it's really, really useful, and it does help to kind of beat the stereotype that you need to know everything, or to beat the stereotype that you don't belong in the hospital, right? As a medical student, or some people will even say student doctor, you deserve to be there. And just always remember that, always kind of carry yourself with that confidence that, yes, okay, I worked my socks off to be here, I'm gonna make the most of my opportunities. I think really, maybe one of the biggest things that I kind of learned this year was more the human side of medicine. When you're in lecture theatres and you're learning about this is how this disease happens, or this is the clotting cascade, learn that, I think it just starts to feel like, okay, I'm a really good scientist after I've learned that. And with the way that you're meant to learn in clinical years, like almost everyone is going to have a pass med description, yeah? Pass med, you're going to learn how different things present, how to treat it, how to investigate it, yeah. Doing all of that is obviously really good. Your clinical knowledge needs to be top, right, as a medical student. But when you start going into placement, what I really felt was like, oh my goodness, these are real people. Like, if you're a medical student, third year onwards, you'll probably know pericarditis, right? It's a disease in which there's like inflammation around the heart. And one of the typical signs is that that pain gets better on leaning forward. And I actually saw a patient who had that. And of course that's like, oh my goodness, that's really cool. But when you start to hear the story, like this person, I think at one point he started crying. That's when you start to realize, okay, wow, like this is real. This is very much real. People are really suffering with these different conditions that I'm learning about. And I think it really put into perspective like why it's really important that we're learning all of those things. And I think it definitely encouraged me to try and make sure that, okay, I need to know all these conditions because one day, by the grace of God, I'm going to be in a position where I can help these people that are suffering. It almost renewed kind of why I really want to be in medicine. And it definitely made me kind of make some changes in my head, which I'll talk about a bit later in the video. But I think definitely that human aspect to it, like you start talking to patients, you start really improving like how you communicate with patients. And I think it became less of just like a list of things I need to get to, like let me get through the Socrates acronym, and more about like really learning about this person's story. Of course it was important to get to a diagnosis, obviously, but I think when you start to really connect the people to what's going on, I think that really kind of added to kind of the beauty of medicine for me. I think it was really important to kind of really get my motivations for why I'm doing this course really back. Because I think sometimes you can feel a bit lost in terms of you're just doing all the work, like you're pressing the button on Anki and you're just going. But I think when you realize like there's a goal I'm getting to, a reason why I'm doing this, it really, really did motivate me as well. And I think that's something that really would only really happen when you start going to patients in clinical years. So that was another big one for me. I think another big one was just about how proactive you have to be and really like grasp your opportunities when it comes to clinical years. Like you aren't really going to get a doctor that comes to you like, oh my goodness, you're a medical student, wow, yay, and like we'll give you all these opportunities. It doesn't work like that typically in the hospital. There can be days where you come in and you're completely invisible, like no one talks to you, none of the doctors talk to you. That can very much happen, right? So you really need to grasp your own opportunities, and I think it's something that I didn't do enough of in my earlier placements, and that was why I started enjoying placement a bit more towards the end, because I started like really chasing opportunities. So like I actually came in like during the Christmas holiday so I could see a surgery, right? And again, if I wasn't proactive to go to the right place to get that opportunity, I wouldn't have been able to see the surgery. It was an open heart surgery. It was really, really cool. But you really need to be proactive and take your own opportunities. If you really, really want to learn, you need to really, really, really like, you know, be more confident, go to the doctors, ask questions, because when they see that you're really interested, they're going to give you more opportunities to learn. So I think just having that responsibility over the amount that you can learn is really important. And I know sometimes you get a bad placement where the consultant isn't that nice and maybe you don't get the chance to get opportunities, right? But you really do need to seek them out for yourself. That's a big change that happens when you start into clinical medicine. The next point I need to say is about balance, right? It's so important to have balance when you're in medical school. I've always felt like the amount of energy that I can put into medicine, like if I devoted my whole life into passing this medical degree, the degree is just never going to give me that same thing back. And although I will say like medicine is a very, very important part of my life, 100% it is. Like by God's grace, it's a job I'm going to be doing for however many years, right? It's important, but it can't be the whole of my life. There are things such as relationship with God, my family, my friends. These things will always have to be above medicine, right? Always will have to be above it. And I think making sure that you're making time to spend time with your friends, like for example, we've just gone on a holiday. That was really, really good. And those are memories that are probably going to stay with me for the rest of my life by God's grace. I think always making sure that you're making time for these people is so important. Like going to church for me is really important. Calling my brother almost every day is really, really important to me as well. So just making sure that you do have things outside of just the course is so important. I know that I like to play sports, so I was playing football most Tuesdays. Very limited this year, I did it more last year, but Badminton as well was something that I really liked doing. That kind of keeping my like physical health good has been really good for me in terms of confidence, in terms of feeling really good about myself and really giving me the energy to keep on attacking the course. Even like the work that I've been doing with ACMS, with A-Star Demola in itself, I think having those ways of like fulfillment to like feel like I'm working towards something other than just passing the course, it will help you get through the course, because there are some times where medicine will not love you back. Yeah, there are some times where it's going to be really hard and you're just revising and you don't know where you're going. So having those things outside that you can plug yourself into are really important as well. Like, I know there are some people on my course that are athletes, some people that have other businesses going on, some people that are singers, blah. It's so important to have these other things outside of medicine that is going to be really important to you, because again, if you pour it all into the course, it just won't be able to give it back to you. I've always said this, my friends will know what I'm going to say, yeah? If I go through the whole of this 5-year course and I graduate, I become a doctor, but the best memories that I had of university was that night while I was studying in the library, then I failed. Right, so it's so important to have these other things and these good memories that will kind of carry you throughout the rest of your life whilst you're studying in a degree. And yeah, balance is so important. Definitely difficult to do. I will always emphasize it's difficult to do, and you do need to take the course seriously to pass, right? But just make sure you are spending time with friends, family, investing into things that matter to you, because those are the things that are going to be able to carry you through when your moments get a bit more difficult throughout the course. The last thing I kind of learned is it's actually okay to not know what specialty I want to specialize in. When I got into university, I was very much, I want to be a neurosurgeon, right? I saw brain surgery videos on YouTube. I was like, this is insane. I want to do that. And I think that kind of whole perception has been changing since I've been getting into medical school. Like, when we did cardiovascular fitness in first year, I was like, oh my goodness, I want to do cardioplastic surgery. And then as well, when I've been in surgery this year, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not too sure if I want to do surgery anymore. Maybe I just want to do cardiology. And even when I had my placement on the stroke ward, I was like, this is like, I thought I was going to hate this, but low-key, this is interesting. And urology as well. I didn't think I would like urology, but it actually seems like a really good specialty to go into. So I think just always making sure that you have an open mind really is really important. And like, if you don't have it figured out by now, remember, you're in third year of medical school, or you're not even in third year yet of medical school, it's really important to know that you've got time to make this decision, yeah? You're gonna go through the rest of medical school, you're gonna get into foundation training, and then sure, you have to decide after that. As of right now, you have time. I'm not even sure if by the time I'm in foundation years, I'll know what I wanna do, right? So I think just make sure you have an open mind. I think it's good if you have something that you're interested in, that you wanna learn more about, fantastic. And also, of course, it's really good, do the publications, go to the conferences and everything, but always just make sure as well that you're not just doing it for portfolio point tick. Go to things that actually interest you. I think that's more important. Like, there's no point going to Billy and Joel's conference, yeah, if you're not interested in it. Cool. Go to the ones that you like. Go to the specialties that you're thinking, okay, maybe I want to specialize in this. I think that's more important to do. So yeah, it's not just about portfolio ticks. It's not just about knowing exactly, okay, I need to go into this specialty because that's what I said I'm going to go into. Just keep an open mind and enjoy the experience. That's what I say. Enjoy the experience of being in medical school. So, talked a lot about kind of my experience in medical school this year and the first year of clinical years, and how that experience has kind of changed how I think about medicine, and just a couple of tips as well, and maybe for students that are starting clinical years or are thinking about what does a medical degree actually look like. Hopefully, what I've said in this video can give you a bit more perspective or a bit of tips, advice on what to do. So, disclaimer, I'm only in third year. This is my first clinical year as well. I've got 2 more to go, and maybe at the end of 5th year I'll have different thoughts, but that's just how I feel at the moment in medical school. So, hope that's all been good. If you liked the video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. That would be really appreciated. Any questions about medical school, anything that I've said as well, drop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer. We've also got our TikTok and our Instagram, both at A-Star Demola. Links will be in the description below. But that's all from me now. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.